Welcome back to Goody Graps. Sorry we haven't posted a lot this week. We've been working on our new setup, getting some new mics, some better sound for you guys, make things look a little more professional around here, getting rid of Hulk Hogan from the action figure shelf. But we did record an episode recapping Raw.
We
We
did.
just didn't edit it, didn't upload it. But we'll
Sorry,
quickly
guys.
cover Raw real quick.
Yeah.
Really eventful episode. We saw CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre declaring for the Royal Rumble. The debut of Penta.
Yeah.
Excellent Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser match. A segment between Gunther and Jey Uso, setting up a match between the two of them at Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
The inaugural Women's Intercontinental Championship match between Lyra Valkyria and Dakota Kai, won by Lyra Valkyria. Sami Zayn match versus The Miz, Rhea Ripley having a bit of a brawl with Nia Jax and Bayley, and what seems to be the finale and the rivalry between Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Really eventful episode of Raw. Ended up being around 2.5 hours, and I think that's probably going to be around the pacing of Raw moving forward and what we can expect on Netflix as a weekly episodic format. What was your favorite part of Raw this week?
Definitely the debut of Penta. I thought it was super cool. The crowd really popped for him. And like me as a new wrestling fan could definitely tell there was just a certain like energy there. So that was cool to see. It was awesome to see him do a promo in English and Spanish. And just cool to see like his family there. They were like very emotional, clearly very proud of him. So that was awesome to see. Yeah, that was probably my favorite part. And following along with Bronson's live tweets during the show.
Really missing him on weekly
Yeah.
TV, but
Yes.
it's nice having him to tweet along with us while
Yeah.
we watch the shows. I think my favorite part was seeing the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Of course, huge Lyra Valkyria fan,
Yeah.
so seeing her get a moment to make history and become the first ever, and already like seeing, as we'll touch on tonight with our Smackdown reaction, seeing just like the expansion of the women's mid card and there being some more prizes to fight for there is really freshening things up and making things a lot more exciting. So let's get into Smackdown tonight, live from San Diego, the 619, home of
Yeah.
the legendary luchador
Rey
himself.
Mysterio.
We saw Big Ray Ray kick it off, and he was interrupted by none other than everyone's favorite disgruntled kind of champion right now,
Kevin Owens. Yeah.
Big Kev. He comes out, talks about how after he defeats Cody, he wants Ray to challenge him in the main event of WrestleMania, and he's rooting for Ray to win the Royal Rumble. And Ray, goes on to remind Kev that he is not the champion, which of course sets him off. He
Yeah.
starts assaulting Rey Mysterio. Ray holds his own. Cody, is getting cleared by doctors or something, so he wasn't out there, but he wanted to be out there, even though no shortage of history between Cody and Ray. Let's not forget about their storied rivalry. But Cody wanted to be out there. He was really just like, I can't let him disrespect Rey Mysterio. Not here, not tonight.
Yeah.
So, of course, again, sticking his nose in somewhere where it doesn't belong. Every time he sees Kevin Owens, it's on site, and he feels like he's got to come to everyone's defense. And how do you think that's going to play out for him?
I don't know. I feel like Cody is at a point where he doesn't know which hill to die on. And I don't think Kevin Owens does either. So it's like an unstoppable force and an immovable object, and they're going to meet each other somewhere.
I do love like the blurred lines morally between all involved parties because everyone justifiably has reasons for being upset, and no one's completely in the right, no one's completely in the wrong, and it keeps you on your toes, especially as fans of both wrestlers. You have your reasons for supporting whoever you support in the feud. Like I know you, the side that you've decided to take in this battle. Yeah, I understand why you guys go that way.
I
But
think Kevin Owens is right about I mean, I don't want him to attack Rey Mysterio or any of that kind of stuff, but I think he's right about the bloodline stuff. And I think maybe he's right about Cody.
I think Kevin Owens is tripping. I think Kevin Owens has his head up his ass. And I think Cody Rhodes is just doing what any noble quarterback would do and defend his company. And,
Yeah.
Cody loves just having an excuse to have a ladder match unifying two titles. So this is just another opportunity for Cody to like bestow some more personal glory. And like this is John Cena's last year. AKA this is the year of the self glaze. If you don't self glaze, you will get ran over. You will be a
Yeah.
side piece. You will not be thought of. Like humility will get you nowhere in 2025.
Finn Balor, you need to get rid of the Judgment Day.
Finn Balor, you need to shoot Damian Priest with a gun. Like LA Knight, they got you fighting Tama Tonga on the not on Saturday night's main event where Jacob Fatu is fighting Braun Strowman. You are fighting Tama Tonga on the Friday night SmackDown before Saturday night's main event. If you're not glazing yourself in 2025, you are getting rolled over by like those boulders that the pioneers used to ride in SpongeBob. Like
Yeah.
they are going to run you clean over. Like Finn Balor, humility and being a good guy and being a good friend, you look like the biggest loser, idiot, dweeb, small Irish asshole in wrestling right now, all because you're a great friend to your pal Luis. And I get it, dude. Like, Priest is a great guy, and seeing him have his moment is lovely.
Yeah.
But you got to have some pride, man. You got to have some pride. You have to believe in yourself. You have to want better, want more for yourself. And, like, you have to throw some weight around. You have to make some threats. You have to slap somebody backstage. You have to do something, because there's no way you come out week after week, month after month, and lose in the same rivalry again and again and again
Yeah.
and never get the last laugh at all. He beat you up in the segments on Raw. He beats you at the pay-per-view. He beats you in the final match. He beat you in the big match. He beat you with Rhea. He beat you without Rhea. And
Yeah.
like you're just sitting here every time like being passive aggressive with Liv and JD and Carlito. Y'all look like a bunch of jobbers. Y'all look like a bunch of jobbers, man. Like you need to like take a long, deep breath. Remember who the fuck you are. Leave all these Judgment Day jabronis. Like they will be fine. Dom is money. Dom can like survive with anybody and get anybody else over. Leave them with Dom and they will have jobs. Like they're fine. You don't have to worry about saving your boy JD's
Yeah.
employment. He will be fine. He's actually a good wrestler. He'll get some chances to shine. Go off, do your own thing, stay away from Priest, and like have some
Get a title.
self-respect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have some fucking self-respect. But speaking of tension, we see Naomi and Bianca backstage. They're doing some apologizing. Yeah, last week in the Fatal 4-Way, I know, like, if Candace didn't get involved, my braid wouldn't have hit you. It's fine, but let's wrap it up. Let's not let it happen again. It's just a little, tension there.
Yeah.
Still no leads on what happened to Jade. We see Jade tweet, "You sure?" Now, like, I'm starting to see questions. I'm starting to feel like, like, everything is getting real meta. Are Jade's tweets canon? Are they seeing those? Because I've seen Naomi respond on Twitter like, y'all are tripping, accusing me of doing it.
Yeah.
But, like, is that a red herring? Is it Bianca?
I don't know, because I really thought someone was going to return tonight. There were multiple people that I was hoping would return tonight.
I want to get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But just this initial Naomi and Bianca thing, it leads to like this match between them and Nia Jax and Candice. And this is like a combo of like wrestlers that we've seen a lot in the last like couple of months with ever since Candice was introduced into the Nia storyline. There's just been a whole lot of interaction between them, and then Jade and Bianca, Nia and Bianca. The little War Games match, mixing it up with Liv and Raquel in them. But I want to see like a shakeup. I want to see like new people fight on SmackDown. I don't want to see the same combo of Nia fighting Bianca or Naomi or Bailey,
Yeah.
or Tiffany fighting Bianca or Bailey or Naomi, and it feels like we're kind of in that rut. So that's where like we've been expecting like every week we watch SmackDown saying somebody's making a
Someone's
return,
gonna return tonight.
and
And we've been wrong every week so far.
it seems like maybe they're just trying to make every like return a Royal Rumble thing. All of the people who like are supposed to come back, because there's a lot of people who are on the verge of coming back. We have Charlotte, as we've mentioned plenty of times, Becky, as we've mentioned plenty of times,
Yeah.
but Alexa Bliss, Carmella, Asuka, like there's a lot of people who have like impending returns from injury. There's people who are making debuts and call-ups from NXT. Like we, after what happened with Roxanne and Bailey on NXT, expected Roxanne to be involved in tonight's main event.
And she was there tonight, but she just didn't interrupt things or didn't try to take, Bailey's spot. So
Yeah, she was just kind of sitting there being a bystander and talking some shit. And this like leads to the point that I want to get to from all of this is Triple H is just like, I don't know what it is with the long-term storytelling, but he's just edging the shit out of us, and it's like we need to start moving story beats
2023,
alone.
he was edging.
We need to start moving story beats along, because like the whole issue here is that with the Jade attack angle, if Jade doesn't return, or if we don't find out who attacked Jade like next week, I don't think anyone cares anymore. Like so much
Yeah.
time has gone by and there hasn't been any progression of the angle. Like we've seen like
Even tonight, they just kind of said, "We don't know.
you
We
still don't know?
We don't know." What's
It's been
going
months
on."
and you still don't know. Like y'all have had whole ass title defenses. Y'all have had whole ass number one contenders matches. Y'all have had it's been business as usual. You have not really been hard pressed about finding out what happened to Jade,
Yeah.
who attacked Jade, and everyone's just like, oh, it wasn't me. So that just makes it seem like it's one of the two, of Naomi or
Yeah,
Bianca.
it does make it seem that way.
And if it's not, then like the thing is, I truly don't think Triple H has decided who it is yet. I think that they're just buying time, like, ooh, it's long term. Ooh, yeah, this is gonna pay off. This is gonna pay off. And when it happens, we'll be like, oh yeah, that was brilliant. But like, they're still buying time. They have no clue where this is gonna go.
Might be
And if
right.
they don't figure it out soon, then we don't care anymore. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be rude, but we don't care anymore. Like, get to the point, man. That
Yeah.
brings us to this next match. Big Jim versus Big Him. Carmelo
Yeah.
Hayes. We see Carmelo up here on the on the character board. We need to get us a gym real soon. I'm really
Yeah, we do.
loving. They gave Jimmy like the time to do the little promo before his entrance, kind of like how Jay does.
Yeah.
And I've always thought Jimmy was better on the mic than Jay. So like I feel like it suits him, and he's doing the little no yeet thing, and it seems
Yeah.
like Jim has his own like little. He's got his own little sauce going. It's a different thing than what Jay's doing, but like he's still like pretty over, and people want to see a nice little solo run from Jimmy that has nothing to do
Yeah.
with like the bloodline, no outside interference, and that's why it's so disappointing that this match ends with bloodline interference.
Yeah.
We see him be attacked by his cousin Jacob Fatu, and we see Tama Tonga there, and then this all
got to
leads to
see
the big return.
The return of Solo. Yeah. Why is Solo dressing like The Weeknd?
Solo just always pulls up, fitted up in his finest red attire.
Yeah.
And then, like, I don't know what the deal is. He seems pretty perturbed by the happenings of the tribal combat match. We haven't even seen Roman since then. Roman still hasn't apologized to anyone. Everyone else has gone back to business as usual. Like Jimmy's doing his solo thing, Jay's going after the world title, Sammy's
Sami Zayn.
doing whatever it is
He's
that
doing
he's
something.
doing. He's just riling up all of his former friends. I like KO referred to him as his former best friend.
Yeah. That hurt.
That that sounds like some foreshadowing.
Yeah, it does seem like foreshadowing.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's just like moved on with their life, and Solo is just like really still stuck and doesn't have purpose or anywhere to go. So he just the crowd's booing him, doesn't even give him the chance to speak. He very visibly, very passively, aggressively drops the mic, puts his jacket over his shoulder, which like he had to take it off to like look like he was about to do something, to only then just throw it over his shoulder as he walked out. It was so
The drama.
he was serving. He was
He was
serving.
serving.
He was serving. Solo he Solo behaved in a way. But yeah, he very dramatically walked out, and Jacob Fatu just stared at him like kind of like
He loves him.
the way that like a male dog stares at his owner when he's walking and he's like behind a fence. Like he's not like chasing after him, but he's like,
Watching him.
I
go.
love you, I'm loyal to you, but I'm still and like him and Tomaton. So then Jacob Fatu picks up the mic, and it's another week where Jacob Fatu's getting to talk, and Jacob Fatu was cooking. I'm not gonna lie. Like he gets the mic and starts talking his shit, and he's got one of those like fiery cadences where he's just like sounds big, dangerous, aggressive, urban, and he just like feels like real, you know?
Yeah.
And he gets interrupted by LA Knight, who comes out, starts fighting with them, takes on both of them 2-on-1, holds his own. Then he's aided by one big
Braun
son of a
Strowman.
bitch, Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman's pretty over since his move to SmackDown. Like, I feel like in Raw, there wasn't really like a spot for him. He kind of just felt like he was there to fight whoever the mid card heel was at the time, Bronson Reed, Ludwig Kaiser, Braun Breaker, whoever. But on SmackDown, it feels like people are excited to see him when he comes out, and like you feel I can see him like being in that U.S. title scene, getting a run with that. You don't feel bad about him beating someone like Carmelo, or like being someone to like have a solo match with Jacob Fatu at Saturday Night's main event. So I feel like that's a match that people are looking forward to. It's really exciting. I think Jacob Fatu has to win this match, but I think Strowman looking good, looking powerful before Jacob Fatu just goes out and just Thanos modes it.
Yeah.
Like, I think as long as it's big man slapping meat, big meaty match, then it's going to be
Yeah.
it's gonna be a
I want to see
banger.
Jacob Fatu fight anybody.
So then we get into the Garzas, Los Garza versus Motor City Machine Guns. And so we noticed this is the second week in a row that we've seen a Motor City Machine Gun match. And I was thinking at the time, like, I kind of want to see, like, you have this burgeoning tag division where there's, like, all these different teams who are all vying for contendership. Like, maybe let's mix it up. Like, have Machine Guns on this week, DIY can fight the next week, Street Profits the week after that, and mix in the Garzas and the Pretty Deadlies and the, like, other tag teams that are around. But then I started to notice, like, with their win last week and their win this week, they have a match with Pretty Deadly next week, and they seem to be working themselves back in a contendership for another match with DIY. So, while I was thinking it'd be nice to, like, see 1 week a tag team gets to go show off in the ring, and the next week they're in a backstage segment, we've noticed that the Machine Guns are one of those teams that, like, they're better off just in the ring, showing what they can do, getting a chance to wrestle, having, like, higher work rate, exciting tag matches. And I was telling you, they remind me of Paul London and Brian Kendrick and that tag team that they had in the early 2000s, and just like having a exciting, high flying, just big fast team to like work and have an exciting tag match every week is like a really big plus. So
Yeah.
I was a little bit annoyed by it because I was kind of bored of seeing them again. But in hindsight, looking back on it, like I see what they're building,
Yeah.
and it's something that I can like respect because they're putting effort into it and like
Yeah.
trying to make the tag team something that people care about.
And we love Motor City Machine Guns. We're really excited, yeah, to see them anytime they're on. But yeah, I agree.
Another, gosh, I'm so sorry. Another thing that I noticed was it seems like Pretty Deadly is gearing up for a face turn. They've constantly been going at it with DIY. Like they seem to be having some sort of like trying to make an alliance with DIY, but DIY is constantly just like
Shooting
bashing them,
down.
shooting them down, being rude, all that sorts of stuff. And they're starting to get to the point where they are ready to stand up for themselves and just be like, hey, we're not gonna let you keep talking to us like this, Champa. Like we're gonna get our match with y'all and we're gonna like beat y'all. And I can, like I said, bring back the fun tag teams. I can get behind a face Pretty Deadly. I
Yeah.
just they've been getting a lot more TV time lately. And like Champa telling them that they're jokes, I feel like we might see them take on a more serious edge, but like also keeping like the fun parts of themselves, which would make them like a fun babyface tag team. So
Definitely.
hopefully we get a chance to see that. I'd really enjoy to see those guys. What happened next? We saw Piper have a match with BFAB. BFAB
Yeah.
is really good on the mic and kind of decent in the ring too.
Yeah.
And this is like something that's super dope about the women's U.S. Title scene. This match felt like an expansion of the women's U.S. title universe. So far, we've just seen Chelsea and Michin, but now we've brought in BFAB as an ally to Michin. So like, there's a counterpart for Piper to like neutralize things there. But BFAB and Piper are two women that could be contenders of this title. And like we could see even like a fatal four way between these women and like the four of them be vying for that title come WrestleMania season. And I think that all of them would do a great job with it. Piper continues to be like an excellent, just like heavyweight wrestler in the women's division, someone who can do powerhouse things, but has so much agility and like some of like her corner moves and like some of her like drops, whether it's like a leg drop or like some of her slams. Like she just shows so much agility in ring and like it's just a pleasure to watch. And BFAB, a lot of really athletic kicks, a lot of
Yeah.
athletic spin kicks, and I feel like having her with some more TV time and some more time on the mic, she can be like a real player in this division. And like I was saying, during the match, Los Garza versus the Motor City Machine Guns, those Garza are so good in ring, and I feel like I would care about them more if they had a manager that like actively got them over.
Yes.
And Santos Escobar has no heat. Like no one cares about him in his own division as a single star, let alone as their manager. Elektra doesn't really bring anything to the table for them. She's not like someone who's like super killer on the mic, and she doesn't really wrestle or like really add anything to them as an act. I mean, so I feel like someone like BFAB who like has that ability to talk would be excellent with Los Garza, while like a team like the Street Profits, both of them are already good on the mic. They don't really need BFAB. It just seems like another case of we're gonna stick like all of these black wrestlers in this one group, all of these Hispanic wrestlers in this other group. When I feel like there's other people who can like extenuate each other's talents, and like just the thought
Yeah.
of Los Garza with BFAB, like that intrigues me. I think that we need to utilize more of the talent who are not being used as wrestlers as managers. Like, not everyone can have Paul Heyman and be Paul Heyman guys, but
Right.
instead of demoting Corey Graves to NXT, if you like don't if you want to have McAfee on commentary, Corey Graves would be an excellent manager for anybody. Stick him with one of the guys that you just like don't think is as good at talking. Like have Corey Graves represent Pete Dunne and watch like how over he could get. Or I don't want to insult anyone else's mic skills, but like there's usage for these people. Like, there's only so many spots in commentary. There's only so many spots on pre-shows. Like Big E, Wade Barrett, these guys that can talk and are proven as characters. There's use for them all over the card to like help other people like extenuate each other's like best strengths. But that's just something else that like I've noticed. There's a lot of talent in this company, people that can be used in other ways, like that can bring out more of their talent and help other people in areas that they aren't strong with.
Yeah.
And I think that like it's up to the WWE to like see what they have on their hands and just start utilizing it and like get everyone doing what they do best. Next, we see Rey Mysterio, the hometown man, fighting Kevin Owens. Another good, decent TV match. Rey Mysterio can have a good match with like a feather at this point in his career. Kevin Owens as well. Like I think someone said it on commentary, like Rey's a Hall of Famer, but Kevin Owens is every bit his equal. He's a legend. He's been around forever, and these are just for two guys who like it was emphasized how they never wrestled together. They had so much instant chemistry,
Yeah.
and it felt very natural out there. Kevin got another win, building him up going into his Royal Rumble match. And then he tried to end the career of Rey Mysterio.
He tried to kill Rey Mysterio.
He tried to just off with his head, dance, dance, dance till you're dead, on Rey Mysterio in his hometown, in front of his hometown crowd. After like feigning like a good sportsmanship handshake, he pulls him from a handshake into a package pile driver, thus leading to Mr. Stick My Nose in Your Business, Cody Rhodes. I can't let you pile drive Rey Mysterio. Not here, not tonight. And he's running out, and now they're brawling, and Kevin's in the crowd holding up the title. And I mean, Cody, you might be standing tall, you might be looking tough, but I mean, Kevin did just have a match with a Hall of Famer. So it seems like you just kind of beat up on a guy that's a little gassed already. So him retreating, I don't think makes him look that weak. That's just in my opinion. But like I'm still Team Cody here. I think he needs to. I think he needs to mind his own business, though. I'll leave that at that.
Okay.
And because of this brawl and their inability to keep their hands off of each other, now at Saturday night's main event, we will be seeing the two of them give their titles up to Nick Aldis to be suspended above the ring in the Royal Rumble when they fight in their ladder match. But they will have to have a contract signing enforced by San Antonio's very own, the Heartbreak Kid.
Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
Because both of them are refusing to sign the contract. So I guess Shawn Michaels is going to make them sign it
Yeah.
at the same time.
Shawn Michaels is San Antonio, and like everyone knows at a contract signing, especially one where you're going to make each of them give up a title, which like they're prideful men who want to be the face of the company, it's going to lead to mayhem. Someone's getting put through the table that they're signing things on, and like Shawn Michaels is there to just keep the peace until it's time for the table spot to happen. But it's also just a chance for all of San Antonio to get on their feet and sing, I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. And that should be a fun segment. It seems like it might end up being like one of the main event segments of Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
And you have to wonder if that's a spot that may have initially been planned for certain disgraced WWE legend who has been around a lot recently. He's been in a lot of the promotion and the commercial for it, and I think as like a big face of the original Saturday Night's Main Event, the plan was to bring him around more. But I think with his appearance on the Raw Netflix debut, it might not be the best choice.
Bad,
So,
bad reaction.
I mean, maybe like this has always been like an event that was planned for San Antonio, so there could have been some plan to have Sean come out anyway.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure.
yeah, just something to wonder about there.
We'll see.
This brings us to the main event. We get to see Tiffany Stratton versus Bailey. They made their entrances and there was still about 20 minutes left in the show, so like this was like given full time for the girls to go out and just have a straightforward match. And what we saw tonight was a clean win for Tiffany. The crowd is still like growing in their Tiffy time chants every week. She's not quite a babyface yet, but she's receiving a lot more crowd support, and I think a clean win over an established veteran like Bailey sets the stage for what seems to be an impending babyface turn. They want to make her look strong, like Money in the Bank wasn't just like a fluke way of me becoming champion, but like I am a main eventer, I belong here, I can hang with someone who's done it all, like
Yeah.
Bailey, and beat her without outside interference from a Nia Jax, no Roxanne run in, no return from Charlotte or Jade or anyone. So it seems like they're really putting their stocks all on the Tiffy train and riding it to the bank. I
It's
mean,
Tiffy time.
this feels a lot like the early Bianca run and the early Rhea run, where they like you're gonna go and you're gonna have a battle with one of the horsewomen, and like you're either gonna sink or swim, and from there, that's a real determining factor on whether or not you can handle yourself as a real established main eventer here. Like even Liv last year, her first feud was with Becky, and from
Yeah.
there she was able to take it and hold her own as a main eventer for the rest of the year. And I can see Tiffany already off to a great start. She's getting a lot of support, but even with that being said, and it was really cool to see her get a clean win over Bailey.
Yeah, it
I
was.
left SmackDown like, is that it? That's all we're getting this week? And I think it's just kind of the lack of progress in a lot of these other women's stories. We don't know too much about this transfer portal and like how long it's going to be in effect when some of these moves are taking place and how that might shake things up. But we need to see new, fresh matchups in the world title scenes on both shows. I think both main event segments this week on Raw and SmackDown for the women suffered a bit from that. With Rhea revisiting the Nia feud from early last year and Tiffany going at it with Bailey without like there really being any return. We've seen a lot of Tiffany Bailey since the Nia stuff at SummerSlam. So I just personally want to see some sort of progress. I want to see some sort of lead or catharsis on what happened with the Jade situation. Give us a return. Not everyone has to make their shock return at the Rumble. I feel like if
Right.
everyone does it, it cheapens it for everyone else. Like, let us get like a 15-minute or 5-minute. Becky comes out, the crowd goes crazy, gives her like 5-minute ovation. Then she just says, "Hey, I'm in the Rumble and I'm coming back for
Yeah.
the title." And like it gives you like a name to look forward to, someone you can predict or who's gonna be the final four. Like we don't even know who's declared for the women's Rumble yet, do we?
No, we don't.
I guess Nia Jax. Did
Tiffy.
she? No. Tiffy's not in it because she's the champ. It's like no one else is declared. So, well, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I guess those are the next few story beats that we're gonna be like getting through in the next week or two. There's Saturday night's main event coming up. I don't know that there's even a women's title match happening there. It seems like there's been a lot of women's title matches and changes early in the first few weeks. So
Yeah.
maybe we might see a women's tag title match or maybe a defense of one of the new women's mid-card titles. But the Saturday night's main event, so far we know about the Gunter match with Jey Uso, the segment between Cody and
Kevin.
and the Jacob Fatu Braun Strowman match. So
All of which I'm looking forward to. I mean, I think they're all going to be really good matches.
yeah, and last Saturday night's main event, I believe they only did like 4 matches. So I'm not expecting there to be too many more matches added. Maybe one more will be confirmed on Raw, maybe. But yeah, cool episode of SmackDown. Just want to see some more progress with the stories and some other things happening, going on in the divisions. But yeah. Anything you want to leave us with?
We'll see you guys on Monday. Bye, guys.